pale ale. People don't like pale ales anymore. I don't really get that. You know, everyone likes IPAs. You know what IPA stands for? India Pale Ale. IPA is a type of pale ale. For people to not like pale ale and like IPAs just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. If you're drinking IPAs, you should be checking out pale ales. Some people might dodge pales and don't really draw that line between pale and IPA because, oh, you know, pales are sweet, they don't have a lot of hops. This is not that beer. This beer is dry, crisp, and has a really, really, really upfront hop nose and character that is just, if you're an IPA fan, you should be drinking this beer too. So driven by Simcoe and Amarillo, two hops that really redefined the whole industry in the West Coast in the early 2000s. I remember real distinctly when both those hops came out. I was at Mendocino Brewing. All we brewed with up there were Cascades. And that's great. That's like the classic West Coast hop. If you have a Sierra Pale, you're drinking Cascades. If you're, you know, there's a lot of those beers. But these two hops came out, Amarillo and Simcoe, which at the time was just called YCR for Yakima Chief Ranch. And I want to say it was YCR 15. But I remember very distinctly when these hops came in because I did an experiment at Mendocino and I pulled some of our pale ale out of a tank and I put it into two little 5-gallon homebrew things, you know, carboys, and I dry hopped one with Simcoe and one with Amarillo, and we kegged it up and we tasted it, and the whole staff was blown away. And I was really making a push. I was the lead brewer up there, and I was like, look, man, we should modernize some of our flavors. These are amazing hops. Clearly that didn't go anywhere. Nobody was really interested in it. But when I bounced out of that place, my next job was at Dogfish Head, and I got there, and their hop cooler was just a nightmare of like weird hops that were like not good, not interesting. And I got rid of everything in 3 months, and I signed 5 hop contracts. Simcoe, Amarillo, Warrior for bitterness, Vanguard, which if you saw the Flyway video is the 100% hop in Flyway, really gorgeous noble hop, and a hop called Glacier. Everyone gives me shit about Glacier. Ew, Glacier sucks. Glacier's a very clean hop. It reminds me of Willamette. I liked it. These hops moved the industry. You know, these hops moved Blind Pig. These hops, you start looking around at some of the really like famous hoppy beers of the early 2000s, it's because of Simcoe Amarillo. This pairing of hops was earth-shaking in the industry. And especially there was like a synergy between those two hops that when you get them together, and people discovered that, you know, other people knew that. Drake's hit this early on. This beer's been around for a good amount of time. A lot of brewers have been inspired by this beer. And now, you know, it's 2020 and all the kids want mosaics and glaciers and fruity this and fruity that. This is still what you should be drinking as a human person. This is what should be in your fridge. This is what you should be drinking. It's got a reasonable alcohol content. This is dry, crisp, lean. I like the word lean with it. The hop character is pronounced. The aromatics are on that West Coast spicy, piney, a little bit fruity. I could wax on this beer for a long time because it's just like, it's a touchstone beer. People come back to this beer. The staff drinks the out of this beer. So, you know, that tells you something. As a brewery, this is probably every other beer that we pour. You know, when we have a new one-off on tap, a bunch of one-offs and stuff up there, everybody wants to try the one-off, but Hundo, which is what we call it, 1500 is called Hundo, if you want to, you know, say it cool like a brewer does. To make a beer that's clean and balanced like this is actually a accomplishment. So you should drink more of this. Well, anyway, thanks for bearing with me while I talk about beer and rant and cuss. You know, sorry for the R rating here, but, you know, we make good beer here, Trakes, and I like talking about it, and I'm happy that people want to talk about beer with me, man. So Cheers.